Today I'm going to show you how to brew excellent coffee with the V60. We're going to discuss what the pour over is, the equipment needed, and the beginner recipe that you'll be using to get started. Let's talk about the pour over. What is it and why is it so popular? The pour over is a percolation brewing method, meaning the water filters through the coffee and out the bottom, usually through a paper filter. And the reason this method is so popular, particularly with the V60 cone, is because of a couple of things. The first and most obvious is the coffee tastes amazing. Black filter coffee is one of the best ways to drink and enjoy coffees for what they are. And few brewing methods do it better than the pour over. The second is it gives you so much control over how the coffee brews, allowing you to experiment and change the flavour of the coffee if there's an aspect of it that you want to improve. And finally, it's really cheap and easy to get into, which makes it the perfect brewing method for those who want to get into specialty coffee. Let's now talk about the equipment you'll need. You're going to need a V60, ideally plastic as they're cheap and durable. V60 filter papers, you can just get these at your local coffee shop or just on Harrio's website online. A kettle, it doesn't have to be an expensive gooseneck kettle, however, if you can get an electric pouring kettle, get one because it's going to make your life a whole lot easier and it's going to make your coffee taste better. Digital scales, your standard kitchen scales will be fine, but if you can get a hold of one with 0.1 accuracy, that would be ideal. A coffee grinder, if you've already got one, that is great, but if you need to go buy one, go with the KINGrinder P0 as it's the best price to performance if your budget is below £50. Coffee, obviously. Pick whichever you'd like to brew, there is no wrong choice. A timer. And finally, water. To make good coffee, you need good water. If you live in a hard water area, then the water from your tap may be too hard to make good coffee. If this is the case for you, then I recommend that you buy a water filter or just buy bottled water. We have everything that we need. Now let's discuss how the pour over works. The pour over has 3 stages. The first stage in making filter coffee is the bloom. In the bloom stage, you pour a little bit of water onto the grounds and then you agitate it either by swirling or stirring. And the goal of the bloom is to let all of the gas trapped in the coffee out because it makes it harder to extract the coffee. The second stage is the dilution stage. In this stage, you pour all the water you want in the cup at the end over the coffee. And this is usually broken up into 2 or 3 pours to let you agitate the coffee in between. The final stage is the drawdown. After the final pour, you let the water filter through the coffee and into the cup. And then you're left with a cup of freshly brewed coffee. We're going to go through this process step by step using my beginner V60 recipe. First, you're going to boil a full kettle with your filtered or bottled water. While the kettle boils, we'll grind 12 grams of coffee on a medium grind setting. Unfortunately, without seeing it in person, it's really hard to know what a medium grind is. But the best way I can describe it is slightly smaller than instant coffee. We'll also set up our V60. Place the cone on your cup of choice, take a V60 paper, place it inside the cone, and fold the paper with the opening facing left. Once the kettle is boiled, pour just enough over the paper to wet it. The reason we do this is to remove any papery taste that may come from the filter paper and also to preheat the V60. Throw that water out, place your coffee in the center of the brewer and give it a light shake just to level it out. Now we'll begin with the bloom. Tear the scales, start your timer and pour in a circular motion until you get up to 45 grams. And then gently swirl the V60 to make sure all of the grounds are wet. At this point, the kettle has probably dropped in temperature slightly, so boil it a second time while we wait for the timer to reach 30 seconds. At 30 seconds, begin pouring in a circular motion once again until the scales reach 100 grams. Give the V60 a gentle swirl and then wait until the timer reaches 1 minute. At 1 minute, pour in a circular motion for the final time until the scales reach 200 grams. And then we wait. The brew should take 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes in total, but if the coffee tastes good, then don't adjust anything. If the coffee tastes bitter and harsh, grind coarser, and if it's sour and sharp, then grind finer. And now you have what should be a very tasty cup of coffee. And that's all for this video. If you've watched this video all the way through and ended up with a really tasty cup of coffee, then let me know in the comments. And if you liked this video and want to see similar content in the future, subscribe, turn on notifications, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you again in the next one.